Greetings, film buffs. How you been? It's Straight Shooter. Yes, I'm back. And, well, happy 2021. We're in a new year. So I'm kicking it off with 2 reviews today. I'm at Team Sound Studios yet again. Thanks to them. And thanks to my buddy for helping me with the lighting and the camera work and making sure that my channel looks as good as it can. My first review will have spoilers, and it will be of the new Disney Pixar film, Soul. So this is one that, honestly, I probably wouldn't have watched if not for the fact that I was with family and we decided to watch a couple movies on streaming services because we were together for Christmas. So we did 2 movies. The second movie I'm going to be reviewing later. The first one we watched was Soul. It stars Jamie Foxx. He voices Joe Gardner, who is a jazz piano player. He has a job at a school teaching kids band. He gets an opportunity to play with one of his heroes. So that becomes like his whole purpose. Like that's what he dreams of doing. Like he wants to play piano. He wants to perform in front of people. He's kind of getting tired of the teaching gig. What ends up happening is he gets the phone call that he has the audition. He actually falls through a manhole and supposedly dies. So his soul goes to this conveyor belt, which leads to the great beyond, where souls that are ready to go into the great beyond is heaven in the movie. But he says, I'm not ready to go, so he goes into where the lost souls are. He's assigned to this one soul called Soul 22. She's a lost soul. She's played by Tina Fey. They tell him that he has to help this lost soul find her spark. She's been stuck in this limbo for a number of years, many years, and hasn't been able to find her way back to Earth, or the great beyond for that matter. So he goes on a journey with her, ends up back on Earth, but they switch bodies. Like he's in a cat, she's in his body, and they learn a lot about each other, about their lives. Make a long story short, I don't want to give a whole long synopsis, but what ends up happening is he helps her find her spark because he was meant to be a teacher. And that's what he finds out through the course of the movie is his purpose, to give people their spark, to give them their purpose, their drive. And that's how he helped this soul. Her soul goes back to Earth and finds its way to the great beyond and is not in the lost prairie where all the souls are that haven't found their spark. And he ends up realizing, hey, this is what I was meant to do. To teach people, to guide people, to help them along the way. I think that's really touching because I was never a teacher, but I like helping people. I like guiding people. And people do come to me for advice a lot. And people either take your advice or they don't take your advice, but the hope is that they've taken something from the conversation they have with you or the time that they spent with you. Back when I was going through paralegal school, I was doing that full time, so I wasn't really in a full-time job. So I volunteered. My buddy was coaching in Little League because his son plays Little League and stuff like that, and he said, we're looking for someone to help out with the league. So I talked to the guy that runs the league, and he says, well, how do you feel about being a manager? And I said, well, I thought I was just going to be like cutting lawns and helping set up fields. And he's like, well, we really need a manager. So I did it. For a season, I managed a Little League team, and the kids were around 10 or 11. It was a really great experience. And the movie reminded me of how when you spend time with people that are in need of learning something or in need of guidance, it not only helps you make them better at what they do, but it helps you become a better person as well. Although the league didn't end up working out, I don't think my buddy doesn't even coach for that league anymore. But it was a really rewarding experience coaching for the kids. And that, in essence, is what Jamie Foxx's character does in the movie, is he guides this soul along the way, and he helps her find her spark. That's what made the connection for me for the movie. Pixar is a funny animal because once in a while they come out with a movie that's really great and memorable, even though it's, made for kids, but it's meant for the whole family. And sometimes there is a movie that they come out with that really speaks to not just one generation, but multiple generations. And I think this movie does that because it speaks to the younger crowd, and it also speaks to the older crowd. Like, we pass on our traits to other people, and we guide people that are a younger generation, and we try to show them like what we've learned along the way, and hopefully they'll take that and they'll use that in their lives. That's really what happened in this movie with Jamie Foxx's character and Tina Fey's character. He showed her, this is what you do, or this is what will help you. And he helped himself along the way. She helped him, and he realized what his purpose was. So I think the movie was one of Pixar's better ones. And maybe it's subjective because of the perspective, but I think most everyone in the room agreed that it was a good movie. My family anyway. If you have Disney Plus, you're on the fence about watching it. Well, if you've watched my review, then most likely you already watched it. But I hope that more people watch it, because it's not one of the cookie cutter Pixar movies where it's another sequel, it's another thing that somebody else has done or whatever. It's a standout for sure. And I'm going to give the movie a minus. That's how I see it. I think it was worth watching, even though I didn't really have to pay to watch it. That you can't really go to theaters in my counting anyway. So I recommend it for sure. So stay tuned. That's one of two. I'll hit you back in a minute.